This is the story of a cat and a Chow Chow who love to watch television together. It's adorable. Let's get into it. Even favorite shows. On the couch, Chow lounges. It's fixed on the flickering screen. Beside, the cat sits tall, tail swishing with sound. The mouse darts across the TV. Her head in a nature documentary. The Chow leans closer, and a dog show comes on. They both tails thump against the but their favorite, without a doubt, popular sitcom. Watch it every week. The one where the two humans have funny faces. Things. It makes them laugh too. They know things by heart now. And during the end credits, they say they watch the humans, wondering when they're back. They're only from work one day to on, and the two to the screen. She smile. It was after she and her husband binge-watched the entire series, leaving it on for whoever in. She had no idea her furry family were watching TV, that they were fans. In their enjoyment, she and her husband did their secret. Made sure to leave the TV. They left the house. Past, the animals the television grew. Familiar theme song started. Raced to the living room, meowing excitedly. The owner found them lounging on the couch, perfectly still, watching what was playing. They understood the show, laughing at the joke and gasping at the funniest. They sit side by side and sharing movie night. No popcorn, just the joy of watching together. One day, the owner came to find the animals missing from their usual spots. The TV was on, nowhere to be seen. But there was no answer. Gotten into something? Were they playing? She started to worry. She looked around the house, with them in the kitchen. They were sitting on their hind legs, resting on the counter, watching the cooking show. Owner couldn't believe her. They were watching gently, occasionally licking their chops as mouth-watering dishes were presented. It was at that moment she realized just how human they had become. Like true fans, they followed the show religiously. When the host showed off a new gadget, they would gather around curiously. If the recipe was particularly messy, they'd lean closer, seemingly eager to learn. And when the cooking was done, they sat patiently until the host took a bite. Then they'd meow and bark in unison, their empty stomachs rumbling. The owner chuckled at the sight. She turned off the TV and scratched behind the cat's ears. "You guys are nuts," she said, smiling. But she wouldn't have it any other way. She loved seeing them happy, and if watching TV made them joyful, then so be it. Still, she couldn't resist a little teasing. "So," she asked, "who's the boss in this house?" The cat and the Chow looked at each other, then back at her. They both shrugged, tails twitching. They didn't care about hierarchy. All they cared about was the next episode. The owner laughed again. Maybe they were more alike than she thought. After all, who doesn't love a good show? From that day on, the animals continued their TV obsession. The owner often joined them, watching and laughing along as the sitcom played. The Chow Chow, always the gentleman, would scoot over to make room for her. The cat, less enthusiastic about cuddles, would simply curl up on the other end of the couch, keeping an eye on the screen. Sometimes the owner brought home her friends. At first, they would stare in disbelief as the animals watched intently while she talked. But once the show started, even they couldn't help but laugh. The animals had become little connoisseurs of comedy, their reactions so precise and enthusiastic that they were as entertaining as the show itself. One evening, The animals were watching a crime drama when the owner noticed something peculiar. The Chow Chow leaned closer to the screen, his tail thumping slowly against the couch. The cat, usually sprawled out, was sitting tall, her eyes wide with interest. Suddenly, a loud crash made them both jump. The cat hissed, backing away from the TV. The Chow Chow whined and hid his face behind the cushion. The owner couldn't contain her laughter. It was the first time she'd seen them react so strongly to what was on screen. She scratched the cat behind the ears, calming her down, and when she turned back to the television, she found herself hooked. The show was genuinely suspenseful. She watched the rest of the episode with her animals, surprised at how much she enjoyed it. As the night went on, they watched more episodes, their reactions providing extra commentary to the already gripping plot. The owner had never thought of her animals as avid viewers, but seeing them engage with the show so intensely, she realized they had just as much right to entertainment as anyone else. After all, they were part of the family too. It's not unusual to see cats and dogs enjoying some television. After all, animals have been domesticated for thousands of years and have adapted to human life, including our love for the small screen. Plus, who doesn't love a good show? And while it may seem odd to think of your furry friend as a couch potato, it's not entirely out of the question. Some animals have favorite shows and will eagerly wait for their favorite programming. Others may enjoy the background noise and companionship of having someone else in the room while they nap. Of course, not all animals are the same, and some may not care about television at all. But if your cat or dog seems interested in what's going on, it could be worth letting them watch with you. Just be prepared for some funny reactions. And hey, maybe you'll learn a thing or two from your pet about what's worth watching. After all, they're not called man's best friend for nothing. In the end, it's important to remember that animals are individuals and should be treated as such. So if your pet enjoys watching television, embrace it. Who knows? They might just be the next great critic. But what do you think? Would your pet watch TV with you? What show do you think they'd love most? Comment your guess below. And if you enjoyed this charming story about an unusual friendship, don't forget to hit the like button for more heartwarming tales. Thanks for watching.